technically, technically, can you hear me? Technically, if we want to comment, we have to go to YouTube. You're out here.
All right. Welcome. I think we're in. We are live on YouTube. Thanks for joining. I guess my promo worked. We got 5 people in here.
Look at that. Numbers are huge. As Brent Musburger used to say, we are looking live. So here we go, folks. Season 8. This is what we did this a couple months ago now for season 9. Talking about the cold opens. Listen, cold opens, folks. Again, against the core value of what the show began with stand-up. So really interesting stuff. What we're going to do is Tony's going to give you a little take on season 8, what he noticed, but we're going to go episode by episode, give you a quick tidbit on each, what we think. And then at the end, we're going to give you our top 5 and bottom 5 cold opens of season 8. So listen, season 8, we tell you it's the worst season there is in Seinfeld. Can we find pockets of goodness? You know we can, but we're also going to highlight what didn't work. So Tony, give us your little kickoff on season 8, your thoughts, and then we'll get started here.
Yeah. So this is season 8. As Chris mentioned, probably I think it's the worst season. I think I give 9 a nod over 8 actually. But cold opens are not our strong suit. Things that every one of these cold opens, I should say, not one of these cold opens is in Jerry's apartment or Monk's. Okay, they're never in Monk's and they're never in Jerry's apartment. The majority of them, they're outside, just walking around New York City, doing this, doing that, a couple of times in a cab here and there. We'll get to it. There's 1 or 2 where they're inside, but never in Jerry's apartment and never amongst, which is telling.
And my thought was they were trying to bring back some of the old New York feel, but they missed.
It's light out. It's all that weird New York vibe. It's not that dark, gritty vibe we like. What's also interesting is I watched a lot of these episodes without the cold open. That's how a lot of the syndication plays it, not Netflix, but like TV Land and Comedy Central. They play without the cold open. It actually makes the episode better in a weird way, even these bad episodes, because it just kind of gets right into the episode. You're not watching a terrible cold open first and being like, what? It's just weird. It's a good little start. So yeah, this is we'll dive into it. You want
so I'll kick it off. Yeah, so that's an interesting point. I mean, books, you name it, you want to get hooked right away, and cold opens kind of always hurt that in my perspective. So here we go. Kicking off season 8, if you remember, is the foundation. So this is obviously Susan died at the end of season 7, and here they are at Susan's grave, Jerry and George with the parents, saying magnificent stone, just not funny. And then he talks about the Yankees sweep after the All-Star game. Just dumb. I mean, the only, I guess, high point of this is it actually does tie into the actual episode. So,
not many of them do, but some of them
not many of them do it. Yeah. So, anything else on the foundation, or we could.
The one thing I do like about the foundation is a couple of Jerry's facial expressions there, when he's just like, Jerry's doing his best acting.
Oh, with the Mrs. Ross drinking.
Yeah, the whole thing there. It's not bad, but totally agree. So the next one's a soulmate. This was one that, again, they're in the cab, driving in the cab. And another thing about all these cold opens is they're usually hypothetical situations a lot of the time, or these weird questions that they think are funny. This is the later season guys, and Mandel told us about this, the later season guys taking what they loved about Seinfeld, those kind of nothing conversations that Larry David would write into a script, and it was actually funny and kind of non sequitur. They made them these cold opens, and this is a prime example. The whole, I bite my nails now so well I don't need a clipper anymore. And then Jerry with the whole, you can't have a clipper in jail. It's you shiv with it. You grow your toenail long, and George can't wait to go to jail. Just another dumb conversation that means nothing. Again, that was their point. We get it. But this was one that just kind of fell flat for me, sort of maybe in the middle of the pack, but we'll get there. It just was not good.
Yeah, no, the problem is I don't get it. So that is a problem. And George saying, I love prison. Like, maybe someday, like, what? Okay. And no, maybe that, the pink cats are probably like, that's telling to the finale. Guess what? Larry David wasn't here, so they had no idea that was coming. All right, third episode of season 8, the Bizarro Jerry. If you remember this, you mentioned there's a lot of outdoor stuff. Jerry and George are having outdoor coffee, and this is the one where Jerry says, "Would you rather be in an alien zoo or circus?" Okay, the only good line I found was George saying they might put a woman in there with me,
right?
And then they go on, what if she's not interested? And then he's like, well. At least I'm where I am now, but at least I get to ride on a spaceship. Decent line, I guess, but just to your point, what are we doing?
Yeah, and I made a note on this because it comes back again. We'll get to it. But outside at that coffee place, this is my point about not being in Monk's. Like, what are we doing? Why are we doing something different? Like, it's Monk's. That's where they get their coffee, not this outdoor hipster joint that they're at this place. But yeah, totally agree on that one.
Oh, yeah, fair point there, Mikey.
Yeah, I hate that. I hate that place. We'll get to it though. Little Kicks, I believe, is next. Not a great episode. The Pink Hats are probably screaming at us right now. It's a great episode, but not a great episode. Doesn't start great either. Again, outside. Jerry and Kramer walking outside, worrying about an air conditioner falling on them. And then this weird, like, Jerry gets into this whole, wait, am I doing the right one? This is, no, Little Kicks.
Little Kicks, they're walking down the street, talking about what side of the sidewalk. Yeah.
That's what I thought. Yeah. And Jerry's like, if I get hit by an air conditioner, at least I can have a monkey answer my phones and the prosthetic lip. And Kramer's like, I got hit by an air conditioner once before, kind of supposed to be a funny joke. Terrible. Again, I'm making no sense conversation. The prosthetic leg. Monkey answer the phone. That's when you lose me. I mean, and Jerry wouldn't say it. That's not a Jerry line. Come on. I can't do it with that one. It's bad.
Yeah, I don't even recall that one.
Yeah, I had to double check.
And again, problematic for me. I'm probably going to bump up any of these that actually relate to the show.
I'm kind of the same way. Actually,
you know what I mean?
You said that. I know we're going to get to the grades, but that's kind of how I was thinking too. Like if it had something to do with the show, it got plus on my side as well.
Yeah. And he might have hated some of the shows, so you never know here. So The Package was the next episode, and this is Kramer and Newman in the park, if you recall, talking about the Bermuda Triangle.
Oh God, they brought Newman into this. I wrote that as a note. Why would they Newman in this conversation?
Lose a plane. Why doesn't water disappear? It's beautiful water. And then they got into the alien autopsy. It was, I mean, all over the place. Like alien autopsy, why? Just why? And then, but to bring Newman into it, I mean, really, really bad. I mean, it's beautiful. Why don't they? I don't even get it. Why don't they make the water disappear? You got to help me on that one.
I didn't really get that either, to be honest with you. This one made no sense to me from the get-go. Again, Newman would not. Bringing Newman in just really bothered me off the bat. On the park bench, they're smoking the cigars. I get it, but like Newman is getting involved in these conversations. Newman would just tell I don't think Newman's this. This is you don't bring Newman into this conversation. Was kind of my point about that whole one. I think.
What's funny is I'm surprised these knuckleheads, the Harvard writers, didn't bring finally say, we're going to bring Bob Sacamano and bring us up back.
They were probably this close. I bet you they bandied that around. That's a good point, actually.
Yeah,
let's finally meet them and stuff like that, or have like a whole episode around them. Maybe we should have asked Larry Charles. He made something in his clause in his contract when he left. Like they can't do that. All right, Fatigues is next. Listen, this might be the first, somewhat positive one. It kind of goes to Chris's point earlier. This one actually has to do with the episode. It's quick. Again, they're not in Monk's or Jerry's apartment. They're at a restaurant. Jerry finds out about the mentor relationship, mentions the Brant Leland callback to Kramer. His one didn't really hurt anything. It was just, it got to the point. It, was part of the episode. And so this one I'm not going to kill, but, okay, I guess I'd say on this one, not terrible. Had to do with the episode.
Yeah, I wrote not bad, not good.
Yeah,
and it's not a real, like I said, not a real cold open. It was just kind of like a first scene.
Right, exactly. Which
I mean, I don't know. We talk about labeling cold opens, but yeah, it was what it was. There's nothing really to it. So. Next episode, the Fatigue's terrible episode, but the Checks was the next episode. So this is Elaine and Jerry essentially leaving like a Dwayne Reed medication for the well. And then Elaine saying, is this a bit? I'm not in the mood. And, the Pepsid AC talk. And so then it turns into Elaine advising on the bit.
Yeah, terrible. I didn't like it.
Didn't like it. Again, had nothing to do with the show. I already forgot what the Checks was about, so I couldn't even tell you at this point. But I mean,
Checks a super terrific happy hour, right? I think, right? The whole
but if they made this stand up, okay, because it's Jerry kind of working on it, or just doing stand up. But to weave Elaine in and like her being angry about the bit, like it just didn't didn't fly.
Yeah, it's very meta inside baseball that Larry Mandel Larry Mandel, Dave Mandel talks about. It's like they're making a joke on the joke that Jerry's stand-up bit is so like mundane and observational, and Elaine has to call him out. I mean, I think they've done that a few times actually throughout the series, so it's kind of played out. Chicken roaster next. One of the better episodes of season 8. I think we give them that much credit on that one. Wait, is it chicken? Yeah, chicken roasters next.
Yep.
Yeah. We give them credit on this episode. It's probably one of the better episodes of season 8. But this cold open does it no favors. George with the haggling and this shop guy. I mean, did you get a laugh at the shop guy? Almost, kind of, a little bit, maybe. I thought Jerry, we come back in a week and it's okay, fine. All right. It wasn't terrible. Jerry, we've come beyond knife fighting for a citrus drink. I think that was going for a laugh there with the citrus drink. I don't know if they landed it. Again, this is actually for the episode goodness to the cold open badness. This one kind of goes the other way. This episode's actually better than the cold open, which and some of these it goes the reverse, where the cold open actually is better than the episode, if you can believe that. Does that make any sense? The old switcheroo. But yeah.
Well, what's interesting, I agree with all that, and I wrote dumb, but the premise I actually agree with. The notion of haggling, like I agree, things should be negotiable, but again, like if they could have somehow
negotiated,
yeah. If they could have actually weaved that somehow into the show, or maybe they opened at Kenny Rogers, then it could have worked. But just them like, oh yeah, pasta. The owner, he was kind of funny. Get out of here, quarter. I wrote okay.
Yeah.
And again, we talked about the chicken roaster. I know you love it, but it was almost half the episode was good, half the episode was terrible.
Right.
So.
Yeah. I mean, for season 8, it's not a bad episode.
Yeah. So here we go. The abstinence, and here's another one. They're trying to do the New York theme. These guys never sat on a stoop before, right? It kind of reminds me of Elaine, like that woman. She's on the stoop. Elaine, I see on the stoop in those later seasons here and there. Jerry and George never. And this was them talking about if there's a plane crash, they're going to a soccer game and shit. Like, just they added stupidity to the plane crash, which was dumb.
Plump, I think George says, right?
And then, who are you going to eat, me or Kramer? And then it ends. And then, like, so that the dialogue went on a little too fast. And then it kind of ends with a bump. Like, it ends with, oh, can I have a piece of that, whatever he was eating, a fry? Wow. I don't know. And then George is like, no. And then it kind of just ends with the music or something. It was just
George face that was supposed to be funny. That George face he makes.
Yeah, it wasn't funny. I didn't like him on the stoop. Again, yeah, like they're not like street food guys. They're diner guys, right? So, outside of the soup Nazi, which you gotta take and eat. Like, actually, no soup. You gotta go sit down somewhere. So I don't know. It was just really bad. And explaining who he's gonna eat. I mean, what are we doing?
Yeah, it's one of those, again, hypothetical questions. There's kind of a theme throughout these season 8 cold opens, all these non sequiturs. Terry Austin, front of the show, if I'm not mistaken, right? Great time with her, and I agree. She should have been on more episodes. Next one up here is.
Why the hell are we talking about Terry Austin? She's season.
I thought so too. That threw me for a loop as well.
Mr. Craig Blaze, explain yourself.
We love it. It threw me for a loop at first because I'm like, Terry, isn't she from? And then
if you remember, Terry Austin was the one who said, she got tied up, and
from the
I bet you did. The boss said so. Another friend of the show. All right, well, here's your boy Andy Fiore's favorite show. Go ahead.
Well, this is the Andrea Doria, right?
Uh-huh.
You know what? I didn't mind this cold open. I didn't hate it. It didn't have anything with the show, which usually gives it down. But they just let Michael Richards do something funny. I'll go no dumb conversation. They just let Michael Richards shove food down his. I mean, I kind of feel bad for him. He did a great bit for a dumb thing like this. That's what I kind of felt bad about. I'm like, this guy is such a professional actor and so good at physical comedy. He's like, you want me to do what? Just shut, you almost freaking chokes on the thing, And then Jerry's like, yeah, I'm going to say it anyway. I like the premise too of like, you can't bring that inside. I'm eating really fast then. And Kramer just shoves it down his face. Again, you give Michael Richards a green light and say, go, he's going to make you laugh a little bit. This one didn't hurt in my opinion. So yeah, there you go. I didn't mind it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they're outside the store and he wolfs down. It's just, I wrote, it's all Kramer's physical comedy, but I just called it a waste of his physical comedy.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly. I felt bad for him. He's like wasting all of that talent for this stupid bit that means like that was so dumb. Yeah.
And again, that bit could have been weaved into any other show potentially with like to just have it and then boom, done, has nothing to do with the show. It's like, it's just forgotten. And I guess, is that cool or funny? Maybe, but I kind
of thought it was a little bit wasted and a little a lot of squeeze for not a lot of lemon or whatever the hell the fuck.
Yeah, squeeze and juice. Yeah, Mr. Craig. Yeah, we know Joe Bennett, Knots Landing, the whole thing. I still don't know what that has to do with season 8, but I want to know.
Yeah,
all right, here we go.
Season 8, cold.
Yeah, but listen, Mr. Craig Blaze, for the record. Go to our episodes. Terry Austin was fantastic. Still looks fantastic. The whole thing.
Was she the one in the hot tub with no. That was a Subway.
Barbara Stock.
Yeah, Barbara Stock.
So here we go. We've talked to so many people. Don't even remember. So here we go. The little Jerry. Okay, this is Jerry and Elaine on the corner again. Another like trying to be New York but not dark at all. And it's discussing Elaine missing the auto show. Decent little tie back there, Melman stuff. And Jerry only waited 5 minutes. So not a bad premise, like how long you wait for people. And then George actually showing up early. Late according to the conversation, but George shows up early. And then Jerry says, 5 minutes, that's enough, even though he gave him 10 minutes. So not bad. Not a bad open. Jerry and Elaine, just they kept it simple. And like, again, this is a premise. Was I laughing? No. But when George got there kind of confidently thinking he was early, a little chuckle. So I'll give him this one.
I agree with all of that, actually. That's kind of my take on that too as well. I got a little chuckle and I like the premise. How long do we wait? That's a good question.
And keep in mind, this is pre-cell phone. This is when you had
and I kind of agree with Jerry. Like you kind of wait for someone you don't know as much because you feel a little. Although I'm kind of a little bit more of like, hey man, I don't want to meet you anyway. The George's whole thing about never wanting to be at an appointment. So if you give me an out, I'm gone. If you're late, sorry, I was there waiting for you. So it's a good premise. I didn't mind it as well. Not terrible. What's next? The money? Is that right? Listen, this is another one. I can't knock it too much. It sets up a lot of this episode. Kramer's whole storyline. You got Sarah Silverman in bed and they can't sleep together with the jiggity arms and all that kind of stuff. Not terrible. It gets it gets everything off to the right foot. We know what's going on with Kramer. Kramer's whole storyline is established. Again, not a bad premise. You got the Jimmy legs. Sleep in 2 separate rooms. When did this get all mixed up with that? That was Jerry's earlier line from earlier to kind of bring back a little bit. But overall, I'm not going to kill the money cold open. It's inside. They're actually in an apartment. Again, it's not one of the main floors apartments. I believe it's Sarah Silverman. It's not Kramer's, but I'm not 100% on that. But again, not killing this one. I think it's okay.
Yeah, same. But what's interesting is like where's the consistency? Like that's where you needed a showrunner like Larry. Like, hey, are we doing these things that mean nothing, or are we doing something to set up the show? Like, so it's as a consumer, I'm confused. If I'm watching this for the first time, right? Or rewatch it on Netflix, like the Jerry and Elaine on the corner with the little Jerry. And then it's about a little Jerry. It has nothing to do with anything. And then this sets up the episode. It's like, You're almost like, wait a minute, did I miss something? Was there a cold open that's
Well, that's why I didn't know I wasn't watching cold opens at first. When I was watching it, started watching this on regular TV instead of Netflix, and they didn't have cold opens. I think it's for that reason. I think they edited them out because they're like, these are stupid. No one knows what the hell's going on. Let's just start the episode, and they just took them out. Like,
yeah.
Watch this on TV Land or Comedy Central. I don't know about Comedy Central, but TV Land.
Well,
if it's still on, TV,
listen,
I don't even know.
listen. Speaking of stupid, let's kick to the comeback here.
Oh, yeah.
The next episode. We all know the George shrimp scene opens it up. Ocean called. Then George gets in the car. But, my problem, who are these guys in the Yankee office? Who are these guys?
That's the only thing I wrote down. No Wilhelm and no Morgan.
You don't give me Morgan. You don't give me Wilhelm. I'm out of there. I'm out.
Tough look.
And as I always said, it ties into the show. I'll give them that.
Job there, Mikey.
I'll give them that, but it sets its tone for a terrible episode.
Well, I know you hate the episode.
Yeah,
but the cold open at least had to do with the episode. I mean, it's the whole episode.
No, I'm giving that a check.
You got to give him that,
yeah. But it's still terrible, and I know when we graded this, I had an issue that that front office was unrecognizable. So that's a problem for me.
Yeah, that's a big miss. Listen, next one's Van Buren boys. Now, see, this is the opposite sort of, well, I don't know what I'm saying here, but basically, I don't, again, the Van Buren boys is one of the better season 8 episodes, I would say. It's up there for me for season 8 episodes. Again, we're a scale here, but not for season 8, it's up there. This cold open is just meh for me. How do the kids say now? Mid, average, whatever. It's just like,
it's 6, 7.
Oh, is that what it is?
That's what the kids are saying.
Okay, I'm not hip to that.
So it means like out of 10, it's
like it's a 6, 7. You got to say it like that. Huh? 6,
you got to say it like that.
That's kind of what this is. I mean, I literally, because I didn't just rank my top 5 and bottom 5. I put them in order, and this landed pretty much right in the middle. I know I'm giving something away here, but the Van Buren, Artemis M. Folkmore sounds like a president, and not great, mind you. Again, these hypothetical, weird, non sequitur things. It does kind of tie into Van Buren as president, so I'll give him that much. Overall, though, I'm not killing this, and I'm not saying it's great. To me, it's kind of these no harm, no foul ones. It's kind of quick. George coming up with a fake name, whatever, fine. You want to do that, do that. At this point, getting into the cab again outside, but again, not terrible.
Yeah, I'm kind of up and down on this one. I thought I hated it, and I'm like, I didn't want to crush it.
Because compared to the rest, that's what happened to me. I thought I hated it too, but as you watch all of them, I'm like, this isn't even the worst one.
No, the reason I'm giving it a little leeway all of a sudden is like because it kind of it anchors me back into the whole like DeSoto and the Mississippi, like
okay, fair.
But at least that was again at Monk's. And it was longer, weaved into the show. I guess you're saying Van Buren a tidbit, but actually, I hated just the end of this. Jerry looking at George, what are you wearing, lifts?
The ending was terrible. And it's kind of a call to the when he does wear the boots, right? That's what I was getting confused.
Yeah, stupid. Just, you want to end it, the stupid Folkmar thing, fine. But, didn't like it. All right. Tony's all-time favorite episode, the Susie is next. So this is bad. So this is George and Elaine. Listen, when you get season 8, George and Elaine together, I'm looking through it. There might be a couple more, but it's not good. So this is George just opening up. If I was a gigolo, what could I charge?
Oh,
and Elaine, and then like to make it even worse, forget about that question. Here or in Japan, and that's supposed to be funny. I don't know. And then George yelling, I'm worth at least $300. I mean, just terrible. Did you, I didn't crack one smile on that.
No, this was bad. I mean,
what I think good.
That's supposed to be funny.
You mentioned this a lot. One of your favorite scenes ever with those two in the cab was the big salad.
Oh, unbelievable. I could watch that.
I
could watch that 100 times.
Right. I'm picturing that in the cab. But yeah. Terrible.
I mean, it's incredible. Yeah, I mean, to go from that to this, I mean, that's what people don't understand when they say we knock these later seasons. When that's all you knew for 5, 6, 7, 8 years, because these episodes we watch live, and then in reruns there was no 7, 8, 9 to rerun, so we were watching them again for before the then you over and over and over and over, and then all of a sudden you get this. It's different and it's bad.
Yeah. And listen, it's season 8. If you're out there, Pyro, this is for you, buddy. We're doing season 8 for you. Tony's got his studio going here.
Yeah, I got clear connection.
There's nothing choppy. You can hear everything perfect tonight.
Susie's a bottom 5 episode, and that's a bad open. I agree. Potholes next. Now again, bottom 5 episode. At least they're giving me something. Just get to the whole show is summed up in the cold open of this one. Again, to your point, like, what are we doing? Okay. Thing drops in the toilet. Great, funny premise. Things in the toilet. She brushes her teeth. Now we're doing something. What is that? That's a great show. Now we're doing something useful, right? I mean, this is.
Well, you're right.
Yeah.
You got me hooked.
Yeah.
And you got the girl Kristen Davis. Hey, okay, let's see what goes on here.
I'm tuned in. Yeah, let's come back after the commercial and see what happens. And then, but then something at least, right? Pothole.
Exactly. So the pothole, yeah, of course, we know that. The English Patient, next episode. So this is, I wrote parentheses, as bad as it gets. So let me see my notes here. This is Jerry and Elaine on the subway, okay? And they're talking about movies and the Raisinets, buying Raisinets. And then Elaine says, oh, he's buying them for his Pepsi girlfriend. And Jerry says, why is he dating a Pepsi? They're not having children. I mean, it might have went on after that. I had to stop it.
I can't believe that Jerry did this on camera. Like, I would have been looking at this being like, are you guys fucking serious, man? Like, he had to have, like, not been paying attention, obviously, right? Like, at this point in time, he's letting these Harvard guys run the show. Okay, this is a script for this week? Okay, fine. What I got to say? Whatever. Like, there's no way he would have said this and thought it was funny. Like, there's just no way. Terrible.
Yeah, I mean, they're not having children. I don't even. It just doesn't. Oh God! And I mean, the movie commercials, I get it, Raisinets, but like, just why would they be having that conversation? Like,
terrible.
Terrible. Yeah.
Next one is the nap. Again, I believe they're at this outdoor cafe place again, which they go to Monks every day for 10 years. You don't just switch to a couple of times and act like this is no one's going to notice. Like, oh, yeah, we sit outside now at this weird other coffee shop, chock full of nuts. I gotta love chock full of nuts. A huge chock full of nuts guy. But come on. This was the manslaughter conversation. Manslaughter is the lowest. You're slaughtering a man. Unintentional snuff out. I can't believe it's not murder. I mean, what are we doing? Again, this is a terrible, terrible cold open. Nothing more I can say about that one. The nap is just not good. And again, the episode, nothing to do with the episode, obviously, I don't think. I mean, this is, I guess, when Kramer falls in the water, maybe. So they're kind of tying it in there, but it's terrible.
Right. And so did you mention the inadvertent life ending? Like,
no, I didn't write that one down. I did unintentional snuff out, and I can't believe it's not murder.
Yeah, I mean, I can't believe it's not murder. Obviously, a tie into I can't believe it's not butter. I mean, on a sophisticated show, listen, my kids had a school play 2 years ago, I remember, and a little kid went up something and used this joke essentially, but you said, I can't believe it's not butter. But they were 6, so it was a good laugh.
Right, I got a nice little chuckle, I bet.
Yeah, no chuckle here. So, all right, here we go.
Was it an original play, or was it based on something? Was it like a real play, like
I think so.
The Beast or something, or
something. It was like they had a week to do it. It's a one-woman show, and
big time.
A little ad lib, but anyway, tough questions. I don't know. So the yada yada, of course, friend of the show, Melman, he wrote some brilliant episodes, but this one's a tough one. I think we all know where we're going. If you're not familiar with the yada yada cold open, it's Jerry and George at the urinal.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to get
George would never do.
Yeah, they're trying. Yeah, of course, George is still
actually right next to Jerry like that. I mean, there's no
very
way.
Tight.
No way George is doing that. No way in hell.
Yeah, and it's like, all right, now we're going for like bathroom humor now. I mean, I guess,
Yes,
but
Chamberlain.
yeah, well, on a desert island, you could bring 5 books. Like, so, yeah, like it's the same stupid conversation that they would might have in the cab or the stoop, but now they're doing it, and maybe they're going, "Well, that's what's so funny about it." Like the Pink Hat's going to tell us that.
Bro.
Um, and then George mentions the Three Musketeers. You mentioned the whole Best Chamberlain. Oh, he was in the Three Musketeers. Oh yeah, he'll tell me now. I don't have to read the book. Like, and it just tied up so nicely with that. Like that potentially could be the worst. I haven't finalized my bottom 5 yet. We'll do that in real time. But that was a bad one.
Yeah, and for the record, folks, we didn't discuss our rankings, but somehow we were sounding like we're in the same ballpark. But that's all right. There's a lot of bad episodes in this thing, and one of them was the Millennium, which is next. We have it in our bottom 5 all-time episodes. The cold open, however, to me, again, at least you're giving me something from the show. I mean, and it's another not bad premise. Elaine waiting while the lady's ignoring her on the phone, and then Elaine, doing a little snub at the end, waiting for her to get off and then saying goodbye. I'm okay with all of that. I mean, the episode's terrible after that, but for a cold open, at least you're giving me something. It has to do with the show. It's not a bad setup. And Elaine walks into the door at the end for the old punchline joke there. Give Elaine some physical humor there at the end. Not killing this one by any stretch as far as a cold open goes.
Yeah, I'm very on par with that. And I agree because I do the same thing. Like I wait. Guess what? You just lost a customer. Now I didn't think it was really funny, but it was relatable.
Yeah, relatable. Exactly. Good premise. Everyone can relate to that.
Good premise. And then the push the door thing I thought was so dumb. Like just end it with you lost a customer and walk out. Like they had the stupid laugh track. Like I'm sorry. Since when is a push instead of a pull hilarious?
I mean, it was done by the Far Side 45 years ago. That was the whole joke with the guys. I mean, it was hilarious once 45 years ago, and that was the whole running bit that Seinfeld's going to use on this thing. Come on.
Yeah, and the Far Side's a comic. So come on. Yeah. Who's up? So speaking of Elaine, actually has nothing to do with Elaine, but the Muffin Tops is next. Okay.
Yeah.
You remember the Muffin Tops?
Oh, yeah.
And I wrote Jerry and George on the street. And then the guy asked George to watch his bag. And then George asked another guy, and I actually like this other guy. I like the guy. He goes, "Why? So I can stand here like an idiot, not knowing if he'll come back?" I actually like that guy. I don't remember him, but watching it this time, I'm like, that guy's not bad. So again, and I think it actually did have to do with the show, right? Because then he took those clothes.
Yeah, had to do with the show. Yep, exactly.
Blah, blah, blah. So yeah, I mean, I wrote it's okay. I like the premise, like of because you feel guilt even if you don't know someone. Like, hey, can you watch this, or not that
this is a weird request the guy made, but it is
incredibly weird.
Yes.
Which kind of makes it interestingly funny, I guess.
Yeah, but I bet you seem to be not liking these tags. You didn't like Jerry saying, "I'm going to go be friends with this guy." I'm assuming, at least I didn't like that. Usually, like tags. It sounds like you didn't like.
You're right. I didn't write that, but I did. It put a nice little bow on it. I didn't.
Okay, now we got a bow. All right.
Didn't hate it.
The walking to the door was supposed to be a bow. They didn't look at it.
Dumb bow, because that's not her. That's not. If it's Kramer, yeah, but that's her. It's not her shtick.
I got you. All right, last one. That's the last episode of season 8, The Summer of George. Whoo boy. Where do I have this? Okay, this is weird. I have it over here, because I hate this. Again, outside of that outdoor place again, that stupid coffee place. I think this is why I hate it, because of this episode. Okay, Amanda Pete. We'll put that aside. We'll give it a couple of bumps up on that one. What's the deal with guys in the pit? Read a book from beginning to end in any order. The fly thing at the end, that gets me every time as kind of another kind of goal. What do you call it? Like moment of George's downfall? If you want to fucking put it in a 5-second clip, it's the fly. Him pronouncing the Summer of George, terrible. But oddly enough, we're going to be the grades next. We'll see where this landed. But yeah, not a good one.
Yeah, and here's my major issue with it. It was 1 minute and 44 seconds.
It's a good point. I didn't count it, but it did seem longer than the rest.
So there was that, like, it was just like ups and downs, mostly downs, but a couple decent ups. like he talks about, oh, they're 3 month severance. They're going to be a package for doing nothing. And I like Jerry's line. You did it for 3 years. Well, what's another 3 months?
Yeah, that's
Not
not a bad
bad,
line by
not
Jerry.
bad. But the Pitt thing, yeah, you know what they should have done? Just had Amanda Pete sit down with them, and I would have been fine with that. And then somehow I would love to see Jerry ask her out to the Tonys or whatever that was, right? Tonys, yeah,
Doesn't he ask her out at one point? Doesn't she the one with the dude boyfriend?
yeah. But they
Yeah.
don't show that. They don't
Oh, I see
show.
what you're saying. Yeah.
But the running from the bee or whatever it was,
Terrible.
like that's a big cherry on top of patheticness to wrap up just a poor season. So so that was the 22 episodes. We whipped through them, and now we're just going to quickly, I guess, rank our top 5 and bottom 5. I guess we're going to start with the bottom 5.
You want to start with the bottom 5? You go your top of the bottom 5, and then I go my top.
You kick off your 5th worst, if you will.
My 5th worst. All right, so that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, we don't know what anyone picked here, but we both kind of agreed that there's a lot to choose from on the bottom 5. Kind of can mix and match some of these. Interesting that I may even change mine right off the bat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, I think I'm going to stick with this one as I'm kind of looking at the ones I have below it. I'm going with the Bermuda Triangle conversation in the package. I think because we have Newman. If you notice, it's the only one that didn't have Kramer and Newman, and not the others. I just think you're really going out on a limb bringing Newman to these conversations. I just don't think that's what he would be doing. And the conversation itself is terrible. A lot of alien stuff in a lot of these cold opens, and this is one of them. For that reason, I don't like it. Even the water stuff I mentioned, that kind of is like so bad I didn't even put it in there. Like I just didn't like the alien stuff, and I didn't like adding Newman. That really, I don't know why it bothered me so much, but it did. And that's why I'm giving this my 5th from the bottom.
Yeah, I didn't have such an issue with Newman. I don't know why. I actually, when I take a step back, I'm kind of glad I got someone different than just 2 people like talking nonsense. It was still nonsense. And it's still nonsense. It still might crack my bottom 5, but my 5th.
It's going to make it worse if it cracks your bottom 5 than I made it.
All right, my 5th worst one. I'm going to kick off with the Susie, which was George and Elaine, the gigolo conversation. I mean, just as bad as it gets. It belongs in the bottom of the barrel of the pantheon of cold open. So I'm worth at least $300. As tough as a cold open as there is. Can I find 4 worse? We're going to find out.
You know what's funny is I just realized I did change my order when I said that one because I looked at my paper wrong. I didn't have the package in my bottom 5 originally, but I just added it. That's okay. I only had a few up. I looked at my paper upside down a little bit there, but I'm going to go with it. I'm fine with it because it's funny you mentioned the Susie. Let me go. I'm going to go next. The abstinence. The who you going to eat conversation. Who you going to eat if a plane crashes? I'm plump. Plump. George saying he's plump. I think they thought that was funny. Terrible. And then George, I would eat you. It's what? Again, these hypothetical non sequitur conversations. Outside, I think this is the stoop as well. Isn't this on the stoop? I believe this is on the stoop when you said stoop. Really, I mean, a lot wrong with this. Just a lot wrong with this. And so I'm going to go abstinence as my next from the bottom here.
Yeah, so the abstinence was your 4th worst. My 4th worst, I'm going to go with the English Patient. A brutal episode, and it didn't start well. Obviously, that's the movie discussion we just talked about with the Raisinets. I mean, you made a great point. Jerry must have read this and been like, all right, $1 million an episode. I'll read it. But Pepsi, they're not having children. I don't even want to repeat anymore. We've touched on it enough, but the Raisinette stuff from the English Patient is my 4th worst cold open.
Yeah, it's terrible. I mean, I actually have it on my list, so I can't take it off either. We're gonna have to repeat on that one. My next one, though, I think you might have on your list too. Is just you have to have it on here. It's so bad. Is the yada yada? I mean, there's this shouldn't even have aired. You're putting George at a urinal right next to Jerry, talking about reading books on a desert island. I mean, nothing could be further from Seinfeld than that. I mean, all we've known about George from the beginning is everything that is wrong with that scene. I mean, it's so bad. I just can't help but put it right now. Is this three from the bottom or two?
That's three. Yep.
Okay, so how many do we have left? Two.
Yep. Three, two,
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. All
So
right. So yeah, that's it. I mean, what else can I say? It's just you have to put it there. It's so bad.
all right, my third to the bottom is the comeback.
Hmm.
The Ocean Called.
Wow.
I
Okay.
not only set the tone for a bad episode. Yes, it tied to an episode. You want to give a point up potentially, but not necessarily. And then I just had an issue with like what was I watching? No Morgan, no Wilhelm. I mean, or give me anybody. Some of the extras that we've come to love over the years. Not these other guys from Yankee Stadium. So had an issue with it. We'll always have an issue with it. The Ocean Called, third from the bottom. What's your? We're back to you for your final two.
Yeah, final two. This is kind of tough. I, I hate. I mean, if we repeat, right? What are we going to do?
Yeah,
We have what we have. So, um, yeah, we're not gonna repeat on the top five. I'll tell you that. But this one, I kind of have to agree. I believe you used this one, but the Susie is just so bad, and it's also one of the worst episodes, which I'm not even taking into account, to be honest with you, because it's just so bad. The Gigolo conversation is just so bad. I don't even know what to say. Like the fact that Elaine says $1, I think is the stupidest thing about the whole thing because it's like that's where you go with that joke. Like she could have said like 27.50. I would have laughed. Like made up a funny number, whatever. Give me something else. And $1, like what are we doing? Like that just seems so like what do we? I just don't get that. Like if you're gonna at least make that joke try and make it funny. Like let her come up with some crazy number where she, and the Japan thing too. What are we doing? So I got to
yeah,
do Susie next.
yeah. Just like come on, like what? Like George is short, fat, and bald. Why is he even bringing that up? I mean, come on. Um. All right, my next one, my second to last one, and again, you just mentioned it. It doesn't influence you the show, but this one, well, to some degree, this one does. And I'm going again. It actually ties into the show, but I just again, season 7, the finale, still bothers me to this day. And they didn't help out with kicking off the foundation. Like, just let her rest in peace. Just it's over. Like they had to drag it back. The foundation, them at the grave, like Magnificent Stone. Like just you could just hear the laugh track in there. Like, but it's not funny. Yeah, Jerry's face fine, the parents, but like, I hate just again. This set the tone for the whole season.
Yes,
So
that's
there's more behind this, and it's just like, and I hate like George's haircut too short. The whole thing I never liked. It just wasn't funny. Like she's gone. Like just let it go. And Larry David left. He put a stamp on it, and these guys like felt like they had to explain that away. And I hated the whole foundation stuff, and blah blah blah. So that's my number two. So what's your final worst one? Or you got
yeah,
to
so interesting. My final one again, I think is a repeat, but again, I can't help it because it's my least favorite one. So it's obviously at the bottom for me. It was somewhere near the bottom for you. Um, but it's the English Patient. I mean, that raisinette conversation, like I said earlier, like there's no possible way that should have been ever aired for any reason whatsoever. I mean, what was at all remotely it didn't even I mean, they would not be having this, and the way they had the conversation wasn't even like funny. It wasn't like they should have been having it like laughing with each other, like, oh yeah, they're raised, that's married. They were doing it like, why is it married to the day? Yeah, why is it like? What, are they really thinking about it like that? No, they're trying to make it funny, and they didn't even do it in a good way. I can't stand that scene. I've probably only seen it a few times, but mostly doing this, but terrible. And it's my bottom last one.
That was bad. That was bad. And I took the foundation as a foundational hatred. I got a couple here. Of course, I hate the Summer of George. I hate a lot of these. And this may sound crazy for number one, but it was just that quick. And
this is 5, right? Oh, this is your last one. Sorry,
you're my final. The worst cold open of season 8, in my opinion. Yours was obviously The English Patient. I'm gonna go The Little Kicks. Just pure, simple. Jerry and Kramer walking down the street on the discussion on which side of the sidewalk to walk on, and then getting hit by a taxi or an air conditioner. Just there were, and then you mentioned the monkey stuff. I mean,
yeah, I could see this in the bottom 5. I had it just outside the window. I mean, worst one, yeah, it's bad. The monkey.
Like, listen, give some of these a little credit for. Sorry, a little credit for just a little outlandish. This was just like a straight line of just what are we like? What? Nothing to do with the show. I mean, the raising that stuff's terrible, yes, but this was like it was almost like, hey, listen, we got to do something for 30 seconds, like almost like a last second like addition. Like they gave an intern to write this, and like maybe they won a prize. I don't know. That's how bad it was. So it's not as sexy as maybe Summer George will, but this kind of gives you a sense of what season 8 was all about. Little Kicks.
All right, now our top 5. We got to be good. So I'll start with my 5th. What is going on here? Hold on a second.
Who are these people?
Why can you can hear me, right? You can't see
I can
me.
hear you.
For some reason my
Sony's camera went off, but oh, there he is.
My back.
A little darker, but
that's the wrong camera. Hold on. Of course, I finally have my shit working, and then this happens.
Yeah, Pyro, don't get upset.
Well, of course, this would happen when I finally have the shit working.
We can hear you, so let's go with your number 5.
All right. You can still hear me?
Yeah.
All right. If my video comes back, my video comes back. If it doesn't, it doesn't. You can hear me though. So number 5. Listen, our buddy Fury will be happy about this one. Andrea Dora is my number 5. I'm giving Kramer his just due here. I know we mentioned at the top he's kind of wasting his talents, if you will. But I'm going to go with I just, you know what? Like I said, if you give Michael Richards, if you give Michael Richards the go ahead, let him do his thing. We'll get a laugh out of it. Give me something fine, nothing to do with the show, but I'm okay with it. Michael Richards, physical comedy. So that's my number 5, my 5th.
All right, not bad. For me, the 5th best season 8 cold open. You know what? I'm gonna go the Chicken Roaster. Again, solid episode for season 8. And I like the premise of haggling.
You're big on haggling. This guy loves negotiation. This is what you do.
This is America. This is a capitalist society. You should get what you pay for.
This is the sales guy in Ohio coming out here. Likes to haggle. Likes to make his. The
sales. This is like, I want to save a buck. Maybe it's cheapness. Who knows? But I like the premise. I like the bodega owner. A couple stupid things in there, but for me, Chicken Roaster is number 5.
All right, listen, my fourth, and we disagree on this, I guess. I can't believe I even have it decide because you talked it so down. I got the foundation number 4 on my list here. And I get everything you said, but to me, it does. It's here's the thing: they had to come up with a lot of this stuff, like you said, like why once they came up with this episode, they kind of had other episodes then that they had to use with this whole foundation stuff and Wick and everything else, and the Van Buren boys tied into it. So, was it the right decision? We can argue that. I agree with you; it probably wasn't. But we're talking just cold opens. I got a couple of chuckles out of Jerry. I like Jerry pulling the arm and making some faces there. The awkwardness. It's the beginning of George being bad. It sets up some terrible stuff. All of that I agree with. But if I'm just talking cold open, though, the 45 seconds, whatever it was, I didn't find it terrible. And then to me, they had to do something. Your point is they should have just kind of let it go. They had to do something. This probably wasn't the best thing to do, but they did it. Biddle is her middle name. I know, a little odd, but
why did they have to do something?
Biddle a name? Is that some name people have?
Why did they have to do something?
I guess. Yeah, because it said Biddle as her middle name. It's a weird.
Who cares? Why'd they have to do something?
She was born. Did you notice that one too?
No, I didn't. It was so bad I didn't notice it. Why'd they have to do something? Like
because you can't just start the new season with someone dying and not address it somehow. They had to address it somehow. I think they addressed it wrongly, maybe, but I mean, I don't know. Like it was.
Seinfeld's not about story arcs. It's about funny and like. That was a big miss. I hated it. I hate it even more now. I'm going to make it number 1. All right. So that was your 4th top one. My 4th one, you know what? What the hell? We talked about it. It's okay. It's not bad. The pothole. The brushing the teeth. It falls in the toilet. Kristen Davis. The whole thing. It kicked off well to hook you, and then we know what happened with the rest. But, again, this is season 8. It's hard to find 5, but that's the 4th best.
Okay. My next one here is 3rd best. Again, we disagree a great deal because if you added your bottom 5 and I have my top 5 and all those episodes in between, I got the comeback. In the 3 spot. I think it had to do with the show. And now that the show, it was the show, basically. George Eaton's always funny. Shoving the shrimp in his face. I wrote down no Morgan, no Wilhelm. I mean, huge miss. I can't stress that enough. But other than that, I mean, it sets up the entire episode, which is something you got to have, in my opinion, for it to be in the top 5. I can't have these non sequitur bullshit things. And so to me, it does the best job of anyone, pretty much, to say, okay, here it is. He the whole comeback is starting. And George Eaton, you're gonna laugh. And someone finally called him out on it, So not terrible, not terrible, and not terrible. It's top 3. There you go.
Oh, you like George in a car saying, ah.
I mean, that's an easy premise. Again, we've all been there. You think of the comeback when it's too late. I mean, that could have been the whole episode. That could have been a 1.5 minute SNL sketch and been done with it. Remember it and never doing it again. That's just kind of funny. They have George go around, follow the guy, then finally find him in a funny way. Would have been a good sketch, not a 30-minute, 22-minute.
You're liking all these Yankee tie-ins. They mentioned at the foundation.
Oh, the foundation, George said, we swept the Orioles.
Yeah. Which I remember at the time. I remember. But does America care about that? I don't know. Okay, so that was your 3rd best. 3rd best for me. Here we go. Oh, there's some bad ones I forgot to put in the bottom 5, but that's okay. Hold on. Where are my okays? I know we're doing this live, folks. The no haggling we talked about. All right. I mean, here we go. You know what? I hate the episode, but could be my, it's right there, right on the cusp of my least favorite episode. But Elena Punta Cana, premise-wise, to your point, sets up the show We're using the Tony criteria here. I hated the woman on the phone, but Elaine waiting, it's similar to like Jerry returning for spite. A little bit of
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
you know.
yeah. This whole episode is Elaine's spite. Yeah, very,
And
very.
I'm glad they gave Elaine a bone there, and been there, man. Bad customer service. I want them to know they're losing a customer.
Yeah, yeah. I got you.
And again, I know you like the bit with the pull in the door. I didn't love that, but
I like the bit.
for the most part, I'm going to give that my. What are we doing? Is that my third best, second best?
That's your third. I'm about to give my second.
Okay, there we go.
I actually had that 8, and I could have easily had it 5, probably 5. I'm not going to argue the Millennium. But my next one here is, again, to me, not a great episode. But listen, you see a theme here with my top 5. If it had to do with the show and it cut to the chase, I'm okay with it. And so the money is next for me. Again, you got Sarah Silverman in bed with Kramer, the Jimmy legs. There's no conversation. There's no stupid hypothetical question. There's no aliens. There's no baloney. It's just, okay, this is the show starting, and I'm okay with that. Sets up a nice little premise there with Kramer. Nothing wrong with this at all, in my opinion. I mean, the episode's not spectacular, but nothing really to knock here, if you know what I'm saying. Like, what are we saying is bad? Nothing. It's the episode. Okay, here we go. Let's watch the episode. Kramer can't lay in bed with his girlfriend, who's Sarah Silverman at the time, and still, big get. But this is when they had Silverman, Patton Oswalt, and what's his face, Posehn, and Gould, all of them kind of in these episodes. But anyway, that's my number 2, the money.
Okay. All right, I got my final 2 here. Pick your poison where I put these, but all right. Again, I hated the episode. I started all these. I hated the episode, but and I don't know. You didn't feel too warm on this one, but I'm gonna go the Muffin Tops.
Cherry. I don't know if Muffin Tops is my top 10 of cold opens.
Okay,
and make the top 5, but
we're just doing top 5 here. America doesn't need to know your top 10, but
it had to do with the show. Again, anything that had to do with the show was up there for me.
And I just, for some reason, I like that guy. That guy did it for him.
Like that guy.
You didn't like the guy. I know you usually don't like those type of guys.
Yeah, I mean, do you like the guy in the airport with the time? Do you like the guy on the phone, Earth? Do you like those guys that chime in?
Oh yeah, big time.
Yeah, that's what this guy was supposed to be, but I don't know if he was. You think he was? I guess.
Well, you know what? They got me on a good day. I don't know what it was,
Fair
but
enough.
why? So I could stand here like an idiot. The way he said idiot, and he just stormed off. And it made he made George like kind of feel pathetic and useless, like the way George used to be. So there's a little glimmer there that I liked and enjoyed. And again, it tied to the show. I think this was the one where, obviously he's switching apartments. He meets the girl, Tyson. Terrible episode, but she's welcome on the show anytime. Rena Sofer, I believe a Melrose alum. But the Muffin Tops, number 2.
Okay, my favorite season 8 cold open from one of the worst episodes of all time. I think you already gave this in your top 5, but to me, I don't think there's any question. This is my favorite of all of them. The pothole. I think this stood above the rest of them for every reason we talked about. It had to do with the show. It was quick. It stayed on character with Jerry. This is a typical Jerry thing. The germs and everything else there. Kristen Davis is not easy on the eyes there. I mean, everything ties in great on this one. There's just no way, if you're grading on cold opens alone, for me, this one hands down. Right in here. Here's what happens. Thing in the toilet. Oh no, she's brushing her teeth. Okay, I'm watching the next. I'm coming back from commercial for this. You gave me Kristen Davis. You gave me the Jerry in a predicament. Exactly what's coming up when they come back in Monk's, I think, or in his apartment, probably talking about the situation that just happened. It's a very Seinfeld episode in an otherwise not great season where they go off script so much. This is what we like. Number 1 for me, pothole. No brainer.
All right. So you laughed at that.
I don't know if I laughed. I tolerated it way more than the other ones for that reason.
All right.
Jerry's kind of a funny face. Again, Jerry's faces, he gets there.
Yeah. Again, based on your criteria, I think you had to go that route. So
exactly. That's yeah.
But yeah, I mix it up because I actually just look for some sort of
Here we go.
related.
What do you do? That's what
You see things.
Look for.
You see things as they are. I see things as they.
Yeah. What do you say when you see things? All right, go ahead. Give us that thing there. You lie to everyone. Go ahead. Let me hear it.
So anyway, I'm finalizing it with the little Jerry. Like I said, Jerry and Elaine on the corner.
Okay, that was number 7 for me, for the record. No one wants my top 10.
And again, that's about discussing how long to wait for things. It was tight. It was quick. Had nothing to do with the show. I get that. That's your criteria, but it made poke to George a little bit.
Yeah.
You could tell Jerry obviously favors Elaine to some degree, and they got the hell out of there. But here, I guess my only question: what were they waiting for? They were probably waiting on the corner, and then they're going to go to Monk's. Like, that's what I never really understood.
Yeah, they wouldn't be waiting on they would just meet at Monk's, most likely. Right?
Would you just meet? Like, why would you meet there?
Right. That's what I mean. I don't think they were waiting to then go to Monk's. They had to be. Yeah, it's a good point. They would just meet.
Yeah, like when you meet somewhere, like you go to the Yankee game, you meet at the bat. You know what I mean? Right. Like, you go somewhere, you meet there. Like, but either way, that doesn't matter. I'm still good because the premise is good, and then it's just I loved how. And again, George season 8 was awful, but a couple of these he's okay. Where he comes in, he's so happy that he's early, and he ends up. But a bump, they put a bow on it, and then the show.
Yeah, that's a little weird though that he thinks he's early and they think he's 5 minutes late. That part again, like I don't know.
Well, you ranked at 7, so what do you want?
Fair enough.
All right, folks.
About an hour, almost exactly. We were right on time there.
Yeah. So that was season 8. We wrapped up season 8 cold opens. We did season 9. So next up will be season 7, right? I mean, I don't know how many. There's less cold opens in season 7, but they still exist.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is the whole season have it? Probably not, right? Most of it does, though. I think in 7. Yeah, we can do that. We'll do that next. But next week we'll have a guest. So Tuesday will be a guest.
Big guest next week.
You can say who it is, right? Why hold back? NFL insider Ian Rappaport.
Big super fan, the rap sheet.
So tune in, all you NFL fans and Seinfeld fans, as the season gets kicked off. We got the number 1 insider to talk some Seinfeld. Journal News alum as well. So, yeah, thanks for tuning in. I guess we're good there. And let us know in the comments, this well, you guys don't know what the hell you're talking about. Let's hear it. We want to hear it. All right. Good. Happy Pappy?
Happy Pappy.